Tommy writes in, and he's an agent here in the Louisville area, Chuck. His buyer allowed the seller of the home that Tommy's client was purchasing to stay in the house an extra week. So a post-occupancy agreement was signed with, I think it was $100 per day that the seller would have to pay if they didn't get out on time. Well, they didn't get out on time because apparently the seller, according to Tommy, the seller's house is not ready, even though they had this agreement in place. So Tommy now wondering and worrying for his buyer, how do they get the seller out since there's a post-occupancy agreement? And apparently the agreement that was used was the one on our contracts online on our realtor site, which is why you really need an attorney to draw up their own, right? Isn't that the case?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. You don't want to make them anyhow. Yeah, there are issues that I've seen on some of the post-closing occupancy agreements. Thing is, if you've allowed them possession, you cannot get them out without getting the court involved. Okay, you're talking about an eviction. So how your post-closing occupancy agreement is written up is really important, because if it makes them a tenant for 30 days, well, that really strings things out. Okay. If it makes them, they are going to be considered a tenant here in Jefferson County, at least, with the Landlord Tenant Act, no matter how long the time is. But there are different rules for notices depending on how long a term it is. Mm-hmm. Okay. So it gets a little confusing. So, if you keep it down to shorter periods of time that maybe can be renewed, etc. The long and the short of it is, it takes about 45 days to get a person out if you have to take them to the mat on that. More often what I see is the people are they get out before that time frame because the house is built or whatever, and they can leave. But then you sue them for the damages that are in that post-closing agreement. Okay, that's why you want to have not rent, but damages. Okay, so then you go after them for the damages, and setting it at $100 a day or more can be kind of painful. But it's something that you do have to take through the court. You can't have a couple of your buddies and a few baseball bats and
you're getting out today, buddy.
Yeah, right, that doesn't work anymore.
All right. Well, that hopefully, Tommy, I know that may not be the answer you want, but that's an answer you need to hear.
That's the thing is with these post-closing occupancy agreements. Yeah, it's like why don't you put some money up? I mean, something that is significant and painful. Why not do that?
That's a good idea. Well, that's what we need you to work these contracts or have these online forms. There's
a lot of little tricks that you get caught up with. But anyhow,